How's it going, everyone? Yeah, it's time to finally get started on our playfield in this episode. If you haven't been watching this episode, this is our fourth episode of Sinbad, of a 1978 Gottlieb Sinbad. 77 or 78. Who the hell cares? It's the early solid state. This is System 1. And if you've been following along, you've seen I had quite a bit of problems with the CPU and finally got it up and running. And we played around and we got a lot of the stuff on the playfield works. We have some sticky switches, of course, kind of gummy. But now we're going to get started on the playfield in this episode. I will turn it over, and I'm going to get all my switches out of the playfield first and get our pop bumpers unhooked so we can get them up off the playfield, because we got to get rid of this mylar, and we got some work to do underneath. So we're not going to be actually servicing anything under the playfield until after we get this done. After we get it all cleaned and touched up, and probably we'll see what happens while we're working on it. I may just shoot some rattle can on my areas that I touch up on this one, because this one feels, really feels good. It's just filthy. The yellow, you can see we have a lot of ball swirl in our yellow. The light colors always show that stuff up really bad. The red is kind of more of a purplish red. Lots of little chips of missing paint all over the playfield. And that's why I said, I don't know, I may just fix his face. He's got an ugly face. We'll fix his face. We will do the pot bumper, do around the pot bumpers. And I think those two are the worst areas. Most of our black is still intact. But if we get his face done, get his face done up and it all cleaned up really good, I think it'll look really nice. And of course, around the pot bumpers, we'll get that cleaned up and touched up. But those may be the only two spots around the pot bumpers. Spray those and fix his face and spray that and with a satin to kind of match. And then when we wax, the whole thing should gloss up. We'll see. I'm still deciding on what to do. We'll find out more once we get all the stuff off the playfield and get it unpopulated, and then we can really determine what we're going to do. But first thing, like I said, I need to do is get our switches out of the playfield so we can clean everything really good. The only thing I leave are these are the rollovers. I normally leave those. We'll see what they're like when I hunk of wire. We'll see what they're like once I flip it over. I may take them off this time, just for the simple fact is I get tired of running my fingers and hands into them when I'm cleaning these up really well. So I am going to flip it over and pull switches. We won't be able to have it on while we're working on it, because I'll have stuff hanging off of the playfield underneath. And we cannot have stuff touching and ruining our beautiful job we did on our CPU, or blowing our driver board. which we shouldn't have any problems with it going into the CPU because I put the diodes in. The first episode we went over this really well, and I showed you everything that was needed to be done to it. We didn't have a coin door, we didn't have displays, and we didn't have a power supply. The second episode, we put everything in. We worked through, no, this would be the fifth episode. Jeez, I can't even keep track of how many episodes I'm doing. The second episode, we worked over the power supply. We put the coin door in, and we put our displays in. Then in the second episode, we worked through the CPU, which was a marathon for me, but not for you. Then in the fourth episode, we worked on our driver board and finished up our displays, getting them working. Like I said, we still have two of them that are dim, but the longer the machine stays on, they're kind of rejuvenating a little bit, and I've read that there's other things that you can do to rejuvenate them, to make them come back. Second player came back really well. It's dark or bright enough. The other two, I don't know if they're going to brighten up any more than what we see, and if not, then I'll just get two new ones, and we'll build some wolf packs and put two new ones in. We'll put the two new ones in 1 and 2, and we'll put the two good ones down to 3 and 4. And that'll take care of that. And then now in this one, now it's time to get started on our playfield and get this playfield all done up so it'll be ready. We still have some other things to do. I'm sure we'll have some troubleshooting to do. We'll have some problem childs throughout, some switches and stuff like that, like we normally do. And I gotta scrub the cabinet once it warms up. It's a little cold out here to be getting your hands all wet. And I still haven't decided what I'm doing with this frame, if I'm going to paint this or not. Sinbad might be a little rougher than the rest, but we'll see. If I can match it up well enough, I'll just touch it up, and it'll look good that way. So to start out, I'm going to flip the playfield and start pulling all my switches and unsolder our pop bumpers and our lights on our pop bumpers, and then we can start getting all this stuff off the top. So let's get started. Alright, now we're ready to get this tore down and see what kind of shape everything else is in. See what kind of condition that the whole playfield is in. These are there's a little bit of cupping going on there with our inserts, but we'll live with it. So I'll get you set up here in the tripod, and we'll do a little time lapse, and you can listen to some music and watch me tear apart this playfield.
shade.
Now I showed you me cleaning half of it. Now you can see the whole bottom half is clean. Just needs wiped down. We still a little bit of the alcohol crap residue on it. But you can see the blue really brightened up. This is what it looked like before. And now you can see what it looks like afterwards. I don't know if this one's ever been cleaned. I did see a little bit of wax, you know, under a post here and there, but, and you know, these ones with the CPU, with the electronic CPU in it, you don't know how many games have been played on these. Not like our electromechanicals. We can look at the coin meter, and if it's right, then we know how many has been played on it. But a lot of these nicks were here. You know, I didn't remove any of those little nicks, any of the paint. But it, you know, there's quite a few little nicks in it, and just little chips. That's why I don't know if it just wasn't stored in a good area, or if it's just never been actually waxed and taken care of. Because, you know, the amount of ball swirl in this thing is just unreal. I can get a lot of it to brighten up, but some of this, you know, I'll go over this little area one more time, because there's a really bad spot. Whoops, really bad spot right in here that I need to work on a little bit more. And then I'll finish up the top half, and then I'll bring you back and show you the whole play field after I get it all cleaned up. So far, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Just not, you know, thrilled about all the little nicks, and little paint chips missing, but, you know, what do you expect? If they're not taken care of, this is what you get. Some of my black around our 4 times and that did come off. Just on the insert, the outer, I try and stay off of the lettering inside the inserts, because a lot of times that comes off pretty easy, so I try and stay off of it as much as I can. Like I said, there's still going to be a white haze on it. Once I get it all scrubbed down, I'll take one of these shop towels and wipe it all down with alcohol and get as much of the residue off of it as I can. And even Sinbad, he turned out, you know, he cleaned up. We have to fix his face. We have to do a little plastic surgery on Sinbad and give him a face back. I'll let you look at this up here. You can see how dirty it is around the pot bumpers. That's cleaned. That's not cleaned. Not cleaned. Cleaned. None of this is cleaned. So I'll get busy and I'll get some more of this cleaned up. I'll get the rest of this cleaned up, and then I'll show you the whole play field after I'm done cleaning it. Yeah, that's what we ended up with, all cleaned up. We got her scrubbed down, got mostly all of that nasty brown. This looks like glue was dripped on it. I don't know if somebody tried gluing a pot bumper cap or something, and I'm not about to try and remove it, because if I try and remove that, then we're going to lose the paint. It's behind a plastic, and then you have the pop bumper, so I don't think you'll really be able to see it from down here, which is okay. And yeah, it brightened up really nice. The blue really come out nice. Cleaned up really well. Really surprised that, you know, there's, you know, besides the face and around the pop bumpers, we just have nicks missing all over the place. And that wasn't from cleaning it, that was just what was left after. Just a lot of spots, a lot of nicks out of it. So I'll see what I can do. If I can get the orange matched up really well, I'll go ahead and, you know, and start. I can touch up some of these and kind of make them disappear a little bit. I just don't want it too dark or too light. You know, I want to get it as close as I can before I do any of the spots. That's why I'll work up here and on those first before I start doing anything else anywhere else. But it really cleaned up nice. You know, it is what it is. It's a old machine. And what do you expect for one that's probably, it was never taken care of? And it was probably taken care of a little bit while it was in operation or out on location, and then after that, you know, you can tell it's just been sitting around for a long time before I got a hold of it, which most of these early solid states have been sitting around for a long time. But some of the orange I couldn't get really clean, you know, like around in here. I scrubbed as hard as I dare. Gottlieb's have a pretty sturdy paint. It took a lot of scrubbing before, and I didn't wear through anywhere. I think I used up 3.5 whole magic erasers on that to get that clean. So that'll be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you, and I hope to see you on the next episode. So until next time, see ya.